Hello and welcome to the Energetic Update for CEOs and Leaders. Today's date is July 16, 2026. Now, this is for you if you're here to have incredible impact on the world and the people around you. This is for you if you already know that acting in the highest good for all involved is 100% appropriate. And this doesn't mean you make less money, by the way, because your income is usually in proportion to your outcomes. And generally, when you're acting in the highest good for all involved, your outcomes are really, really big. Now, as you receive this information from me, I encourage you to use your own discernment. This is not about you handing over your sovereignty to me. In fact, this is more about you leaning into what you probably already know and intuit so that you can take aligned actions because you're using this as, I guess, a form of validation. So it's much easier to take aligned actions so that you're on track to calling in the outcomes you actually want for your business and also your life. Now, this executive summary, where does this information come from? It comes from my own intuition. It comes from my guides. It comes from the quantum. It comes from the work I'm doing directly with my clients. And it also comes from the leadership collective field of which you are a part of. That part is important because you are, in fact, a part of the collective. And by having access to some of this invisible information that we're making visible today, it allows you to course correct and it also allows you to double down on certain aspects, especially inside of your business. Now, there are 4 themes for today. I have got this information previously. I spent some time journaling about it, so I am going to refer to my notes to make sure I'm giving you the most right information. So, theme number 1 is the call to rest. Now, there are some of you that are involved in a lot of momentum. It feels really fun. It feels like time has really speeded up for you. There are other people where it feels the exact opposite of that, like time has slowed down. In this case, I'm referring to the people where it feels like things have really speeded up. Now, because of this momentum, it can feel really good. And this is tricky because you don't notice how your energy reserves are actually going inside of your own system. So it can be tricky for you to notice that you're not allowing yourself to have the downtime that you actually need and that's required when you do in fact have space for that downtime. And what I'm seeing happening is that you're filling your calendar up with things that look like downtime. Logically, they look like downtime. So for example, golfing with your buddies, surfing in my case, doing the reformer Pilates class, all of this logically looks like downtime. It looks like you're taking care of yourself. However, none of these activities count as downtime unless you're feeling more rejuvenated after you have completed that activity than before you started that activity. If you're not feeling more rejuvenated, this activity does not count as downtime. So this is the call for proper deep rest, because the momentum that you have right now is about 50 times smaller than what is coming, than what's coming up for you. And your leadership is going to be required to guide the chariot soon, to guide that chariot soon through this quite momentous period. So this particular period that's coming up is going to be calling for you to be dynamic and resourceful. And you can only do that if your whole internal system is firing on all cylinders, if it's really working for you. Theme number 2, resilience is key. So you know when you wear a sweater, it's boiling hot where I am right now, but when you wear a sweater and you accidentally buy one that's really itchy on your skin. So this looks like a minor problem, but there's a part of you that is focused on that itch on your skin, and it's bugging you. So even though most of you is focused on something else, there's still a part of you that is very distracted by this metaphorical itch. So now it's time to clean up your act and throw that metaphorical itchy sweater away. It's got to go. And don't even donate it, because no one deserves to have that itchy sweater in their life. Don't pass it on to somebody else, you hoarder. So Where are you putting up with things that should no longer be in your environment, that you should no longer be thinking about? When you discover what this is for you, you can bet that you're going to have feelings potentially of annoyance and frustration because you realize that you did that, like this one's on you, and that is a sucky feeling. So this is about proactive resilience. It's not just about what do you add in, to be firing on all cylinders. So, for example, quality sleep and exercise and diet and protein and all of the things. But it's also about what needs to be removed. So, can you lovingly release the stuff that's got to go, that should already be gone potentially, and thank it for showing you where you were still holding on with a bit of death grip energy? Can you lovingly release that this week? Because after that release, you then have all this spaciousness, this mental spaciousness to call in the new that's coming. Theme number 3 is determination. Where there's a will, there's a way. This is for you if you're currently exploring unexplored territory. So the visual I'm getting when I'm seeing this is that you've got a machete in hand and you're carving your way through the jungle. And at times it's hot and it's sweaty and it's uncomfortable. But there are also times where you find yourself in a clearing and there's a creek running by. Are you remembering to bask in that clearing? Are you remembering to breathe? Are you remembering to regulate your nervous system? Or are you powering ahead with that machete, burning yourself out? Because whose will is it? Is it coming from your ego? Is it coming from your intuition? Is it coming from your soul? Because they're very different actions. One is aligned and one is not aligned. Is your will up to date? Wouldn't it be nice if you were being the type of person who doesn't need an up-to-date will because you take the time to bask along this journey that you're on? Theme number 4 is friendship and self-friendship. Are you spending time with people where you can be your weird self? Have you noticed that when you judge others and where you judge others is simply a call for you to judge yourself far less? Are you being friendly towards yourself? Especially at the level that you're at, you often have such a very small core group of people that you relate with. And it's time to check in and think about those people and understand if you're able to let your guard down with them and be your authentic, true self. If not, that could be on you, or it could be time. You might be outgrowing those friendships. So ponder that one. Can you put the mask down and can you allow yourself to actually want what you want? Can you allow yourself to desire what it actually is that you desire? Because not everybody wants what you want. Like, where do you think your wants even come from? They're there for you to go and get them. They're specifically designed for you because that's the fastest way to your expansion. Your soul knows the fastest way to call in what it is you actually are looking for. And for almost everybody listening to this, it will be expansion and flow. And the only reason that it seems weird to other people, you going and actually acting on these desires, is because most people stifle themselves. Most people suffocate themselves and don't allow their own desires to even exist. Okay? Now, that's not you. If you're listening to this, that's not you. You got to stop comparing yourself to people that are probably never going to get you anyway, right? Because you'll be very triggering for them. If you're the type of person who goes out there and acts on your desires, you're either inspirational or you're triggering, or you're so far vibrationally removed from some people that they don't even know you exist. Okay, so you've got to be your own BFF first. That's the executive summary. Okay, so I'll see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. right here. So give this a save, give this a like, give this a follow so you can actually find me on the internet again. And I'd love it if you drop it in the comments. Like, what was, out of those 4 themes, which was the one that resonated the most for you? And do you have an action that you're going to take between now and next Thursday so that when you come here again, you actually have expanded, you've already grown, you're already moving and shifting into who you rather be?